Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most common, yet often misunderstood, trouble codes you might encounter. P0300. You've probably seen that dreaded check engine light plugged in your scanner, and seen P0300, random multiple cylinder misfire detected. But what does that actually mean? And how serious is it? Let's break it down. First off, what's a misfire? Simply put, it's when one or more of your engine's cylinders fails to fire correctly. Your engine needs three things to make power: fuel, air, and spark, all delivered at the perfect time. A misfire happens when that delicate balance is disrupted. Maybe there's not enough spark, the fuel-to-air mixture is off, or there's a loss of compression. Now, you might get a code like P0301, P0302, and so on. The last digit tells you which specific cylinder is misfiring. P0301 is cylinder 1, P0302 is cylinder 2, and you get the idea. This is actually good news because it points you in a specific direction. But P0300 is different. It means the engine's computer has detected misfire happening randomly across multiple cylinders. It can't pin the blame on just one, which makes diagnosis a bit trickier. So, what kind of symptoms will you notice? The most obvious is that flashing check engine light. Unlike a solid light, a flashing one is a critical warning. It means unburnt fuel is being dumped into your exhaust system, which can rapidly overheat and destroy your expensive catalytic converter. You might also feel a rough idle, shaking or stumbling during acceleration, a noticeable loss of power, and your fuel economy will likely take a nosedive. In severe cases, your car might be hard to start or stall out completely. So, why is a P0300 so tricky? Because it's a random misfire. The cause is usually something that affects the entire engine, not just a single cylinder. We can group the potential culprits into a few main categories: the ignition system, the fuel system, and mechanical engine issues. Let's start with the ignition system. This is one of the most common causes. Things like worn-out spark plugs are a classic culprit. If your plugs are old, they can't create a strong enough spark. Similarly, faulty ignition coils, or coil packs, which provide the high voltage for the spark, can fail. Don't forget the spark plug wires or boots, which can crack and leak voltage. A quick inspection of these components for wear, cracks, or corrosion is a great first step. Next up, the fuel system. If the whole engine is running lean with too much air or rich with too much fuel, you can get random misfires. This could be caused by a weak fuel pump that isn't delivering enough pressure, a clogged fuel filter restricting flow, or dirty fuel injectors that aren't spraying fuel correctly. A vacuum leak is another huge one to look for. A cracked hose or a bad intake manifold gasket can let unmetered air into the engine, throwing off the air-fuel mixture and causing a lean condition that leads to misfires. Then we have the more serious potential causes: mechanical issues. This could be anything from a clogged exhaust gas recirculation or EGR valve, to a timing belt or chain that has skipped a tooth. A jumped timing belt messes up the synchronization between your pistons and valves, which is a recipe for disaster and misfires. Low engine compression is another possibility, though it's less common for it to be random across cylinders unless there is some major problem, like a blown head gasket between cylinders. So, where do you begin your diagnosis? Start with the simple stuff. When was the last time you changed your spark plugs? Check your maintenance records. Inspect the ignition coils and wires for any visible damage. Next, look for vacuum leaks. With the engine running, you can sometimes hear a hissing sound. You can also carefully spray a little bit of carb cleaner or even just water around vacuum hoses and gasket areas. The engine's idle changes. You've found your leak. If the basics check out, you'll need to move on to testing fuel pressure to rule out the pump and filter. You can also check the fuel trims with a good OBD2 scanner to see if the engine is running excessively rich or lean. This can point you toward a fuel delivery problem or a vacuum leak. Remember, that flashing check engine light means pull over and stop driving as soon as it's safe. Continuing to drive can cause thousands of dollars in damage to your catalytic converter. A P0300 code can be intimidating because it's not specific. But by working through the potential causes, logically from ignition to fuel to mechanical, you can systematically narrow down the problem. I hope this helps you understand the P0300 code a little better and gives you a solid game plan for tackling it. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more car repair tips and tricks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.